Hello, and welcome to Man with a Mentor. I am the man, your host, Matt Barnard, and you may wonder what a show called Man with a Mentor is about, and it's basically finding interesting people with fascinating careers and all the little steps and things that they took to get where they are, because as you know, careers can be a roller coaster, so you better buckle up. Today's guest is Kerry Kennard. He is an awesome drummer, and we are going to cut to you to give you the proof right now. So, Kerry, hit it. All right, welcome to the show, Kerry.
Oh, thank you.
That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know how you do that. How do you do that?
Well, I mean, in most sports and stuff, it's practice over and over and repetition. So
Right.
and playing with others. I mean, because that's if you don't get along with others and play, then you're not going to go very far.
Right. Well, let's go back, because you're obviously like awesome now, but you had to have a start somewhere. So, like, how did it? Were you like banging on things when you were a kid and your parents thought like, let's get him a drum set? Or how did the impetus of that begin for you?
Well, it's more sort of like in middle school.
Middle school.
And I saw Freedom Jam Free Fair. I don't know if you've heard that band. They traveled all around the United States a long time ago.
I don't know. Maybe I was too little. So, like, did you do lessons? I feel like there's certain instruments where like training is required, but I feel like the drums, it's more like, do you have an inner rhythm? Is it like, do you go to school, music school for that? Like, how did you think I need to develop my craft further, and what did you do to take those steps?
Well, during the early days, I remember going Howard Music over when it was downtown, and there's one on 48. And
oh, that's right. Yeah.
I used to write. We lived on the edge of Beaver Creek, Kettering.
Right.
It drove me there, and I remember taking my moped to a few times.
Oh, right.
My mom's like, "What the heck are you doing over there?"
Right. Yeah. I think sometimes moms don't need to know everything.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm learning that.
Yeah.
But in high school, I was in band all 3 years, and
right.
marching band, and I actually played for the choir with drum set, stuff like that. So that's how I kind of got more into drum set.
Oh, right. Now, when college time came around, did you think, I'm going to be a music major, this is what I want to do? Was there anybody who said like, oh no, be a finance major or something, and keep that as a hobby, because there's probably a million drummers out there, and like 2% make it, and like, were there any qualms of like, yeah, maybe I'll just do this on the side? Or did you just think like, no, this is for me, I'm not going to be happy without doing this?
Yeah, there's been a few people saying that, like, have something to fall back on, and I try. I mean, I worked at the National City for like 7 years.
So do you think it's better to kind of go in a specific route? Like, if you want to be a rock and roll drummer, do you think those rock and roll drummers also know how to play some Latin beats and some conga drum? Or do you think they don't know anything about that, and you kind of know a little bit about everything? Is that better?
Yeah,
or
how does it work? I think it's better because, but more, I think a lot of people do specialize in rock or funk.
I feel like, don't you feel like drummers are kind of like the guy that people forget in the band. Like, there aren't necessarily that many like famous drummers, even though they're probably the third biggest key component of the sound of a band.
Timekeeper, that's what I tell all my students. You got to do the time. You got to get out the metronome and stay with the metronome.
I mean, I feel like drumming is like a musical experience that is a workout. Like, I mean, if you have like 4 or 5 drums and multiple cymbals and your feet are going and your arms are going, like, I mean, how do you like learn the rhythm of your own body to know which ones to hit at the right time? And you know what I mean? Like, I would think if you weren't coordinated that it would be like difficult.
The coordination.
Yeah.
It's hard at the beginning.
Right.
Because a lot of times young kids want to do the snare and bass at the same time. And I mean, that's needed.
Right.
But not all the time.
Right.
But it's a learned process of coordination between your feet and your hands.
Right. Right. Yeah. This is probably why I did not learn the drum. Like, I fall on the tennis court. Like, I will just, I'm a nightmare in terms of coordination. I know it seems hard to believe out there, audience, that I might not be coordinated, but it might be true. All right. So what is your approach to teaching? Like, what do you start people with? And do you primarily like start with kids? Are there like 30 or 40-year-olds that want to learn it?
I mean, one of my current students, he's like 40s. And
all right. Where people can find your music and discover things you've done and people you've worked with, like, where can people find Kerry Kennard at?
Well, my website, kerrykennard.com. These go out to Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Deezer.
I feel like I like a lot of genres of music, but I have to feel a vibe or a connection with the sound or the singer.
Right.
Like, some people are like, you like Keane, but you don't like Coldplay. Or, you know what? Like, I'm just like, Coldplay, you know. I like them, but now not so much. But you know what I mean? Like, I feel more drawn to certain things than others.
Like some of my Latin stuff I played, which you'll hear. You know, I like Basha coming up and the Sade.
Well, I am so impressed. I feel like you know everything about everything in terms of percussion, and it's just so exciting to have you here and have you talk about like being a drummer and how it all works and teaching people. And how can people get in touch with you if they want to learn the drums? Go to
my website, kerrykennard.com.
Okay, and that's KERRY. KENNARD.com.
KERRYKENNARD.com.
Get in touch with this guy and learn to drum. Although we don't want a million drummers out there. You gotta love it, right? I assume, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be a certain level, but I mean, I started saying at 7 and then 11, but you know, it's just having I want someone who's going to be interested and that's going to want to keep growing,
right?
And not just. I mean, I know it's harder when you're young. You don't know what you want to do.
Right. Right. I figure even if you love it and you're entertaining yourself, or like, it's kind of like if you love to dance, you might not be good enough to be in the Met ballet troupe. But if you just want to go and do a Latin or a ballet class at the gym or whatever, like, do it and just get that joy like in your body and expressing yourself. So even if you drum and you know, you don't become famous, or you don't really do it for like stadiums of people or theaters of people. If you love it, I say just do it on your own terms. Yeah. Right?
Right.
And you can learn from this guy, and his name is Kerry Kennard. Go to kerrykennard.com. That's Kerry, Kennard. And we are going to end the show with some more drumming from Kerry. So don't stop listening right now. I'm watching you out there. Don't stop, because he's coming up right now. Thanks for listening to Man with a Mentor. This is Matt Barnard, and Kerry's going to play some more. Hit it, Kerry.
Let's go do this.